How to create a simple FK Lego rig. By the end of this video, you will have a lightweight rig ready to animate and upgrade with animBot's temp controls. You're going to start by going to File, Save As, right-click and create a new folder, give it a name, open the folder, right-click and create a new folder, and give it a file name of V001. When creating a rig, you'll want to iterate the folder name and not the Maya file itself for referencing purposes. Give the Maya file a name and save it as a Maya ASCII. Select all of your geometry, go to Edit, Delete by Type, delete Non-Deformer History. Go to Windows, Settings/Preferences, Hotkey Editor. Go to Choose Category, Custom Scripts. There will be a link to this script in the description. So copy and paste this script in a runtime command and set it to Mal, give it a name, set it to a hotkey, and save it. This script will create a locator at the same position of whatever is selected. Megabricks Geometry's pivot points are where they should be. This will save you a lot of time. Select the right leg, chest, right arm, and head, and then run the hotkey. Select the locator for the right leg and duplicate it, Ctrl D. With it selected, go to the channel box and zero out the X translation. Go to the curve shelf and create a NURB circle and rename it Root Control. Then group it twice by hitting Ctrl G twice. Open up the hierarchy and name it Root Control GRP, which is group abbreviated. Paste it in the largest group and name it DNT, which stands for Do Not Touch. Move over to the channel box and under Inputs, go to Make NURB Circle and change the radius of the curve to 13. Then go to Attribute Editor, Object Display, Drawing Overrides, enable overrides and change the color to yellow. Go to the Curved Surfaces shelf, create a NURB circle, and rename it COG Rock Control. Group it twice by hitting Ctrl G on your keyboard. Open the hierarchy, copy the name of the control, paste it in the group above it, and rename GRP for group. Paste it in the group above, and rename DNT for Do Not Touch. Go to the channel box, under Inputs, go to Make NURB Circle 2, change radius to 11, degrees to linear, sections to 6. Go to the Attribute Editor, under Shapes, Object Display, Drawing Override, Enable Override, and pick a color. Go to your outliner, select the COG Do Not Touch group, shift select the root control, and press P on your keyboard to parent. Now the COG Rock Control is driven by the root control. Go to the Curved Surfaces shelf and create a NURB circle. Select the locators. In the channel box, under Shapes, change the local scale to 5, so we can select the locators from the viewport. Rename the new curve to COG Control. I neglected to do this, but to avoid confusion, rename your geometry and locators. Middle mouse drag and drop into the COG locator. Go to the channel box and zero out the control. With the COG control selected, hit Ctrl G to group. Open the group, copy the name of the control, paste it into the group, and name it GRP for group. Paste the name of the control into the locator and name it DNT for Do Not Touch. It's named Do Not Touch because these values should not be changed. Select the COG control, go to the channel box, and under Inputs, go to Make NURB Circle 3 and change the radius to 10. Go to the Curved Surfaces shelf and create another NURB circle and rename it Spine Control. Middle mouse drag and drop into COG Control. Open up the hierarchy and group the spine control. Copy the control spine and paste it into the group. Then name it GRP for group. Then group again Ctrl V to paste it, and name it DNT for do not touch. Select the spine control, go to the channel box, zero out the values, inputs, make NURB circle 4, and change the radius to 10. Make the center Y 3. Select the COG control, go to the attribute editor, control shape, object display, drawing override, enable override, and choose a color. Then select the spine control, enable override, and change the color. Identify your chest locator. Go up to the curve surfaces shelf, create a NURB surface, middle mouse drag it into the chest locator, open the hierarchy, zero out the values, rename the NURB circle chest control, group it by hitting G on your keyboard, copy the name of the chest control, paste it in the group, and name it GRP for group. Paste the control name into the locator, and name it DNT for do not touch. Go to the channel box, under inputs, make NURB circle 5, change the radius to 10. Go to the attribute editor, enable override, and change the color. Go to the curved surfaces shelf, create a NURB circle, drag and drop it into the head locator, select the NURB circle, go to the channel box, zero out the values, change the name to head control, group it, open the hierarchy, copy the name of the head control, paste it in the group, and name it control GRP for group. Paste it into the locator, change the name to DNT for do not touch. Select the head control, go to the channel box, under inputs, make NURB circle 6, and change the radius to 9.5. Go to center Y and change that to 15. I'm actually going to tweak this back to 6.8 and 15 point something. Go to the attribute editor, under object display, drawing overrides, enable overrides, and change the color. Select the COG do not touch and the COG rock control and hit P to parent. Shift click to open up hierarchy. Now the COG and spine are added to the hierarchy. Select the chest do not touch and spine control and hit P on your keyboard to parent. Shift click to open up the hierarchy. Select the head do not touch and chest control and hit P on your keyboard to parent. Shift click to open up the hierarchy. Now the hierarchy of the middle of the body is complete. Identify your leg locator, go to the curve/surfaces shelf and create a NURB circle. Middle mouse drag and drop into the leg locator. Open up the hierarchy, rename the locator, leg FK right control. Group it, open the group. Oh, I forgot to name it control. Control C to copy the name of the control and paste it in the group and name it GRP for group. Paste it into the locator and name it DNT for do not touch. Select the leg control and zero out the values. Go to inputs, make NURB circle 7 and change the radius to 5.3. Go to center X, move it out to -4.3. Then play with the normal X, Y, and Z's until the orientation matches the angle of the leg. I'm going to change the radius to 5. Then go to the attribute editor, enable override, and change the color of the control to red. We didn't make a locator at the position of the hand because the pivot point is the pivot of the grab rather than the wrist rotation. But the rotation of the arm control is the correct rotation. So you'll be duplicating that orientation. Select the arm locator, duplicate it by hitting Ctrl D on your keyboard. Go to the top tool shelf and select snap to point. While the locator is still selected, select the hand geometry, go to the viewport toolbar and select isolate selected. To see the wireframe on your geometry, go to the viewport toolbar and select wireframe on shaded. Now you can snap the locator to this middle vertex here. Orbit your perspective camera to the side, Translate the z-axis of the manipulator so it snaps to this point here. Now you can unisolate selected, go to the tool shelf under curves and surfaces, and create a NURB circle. You can collapse your hierarchies and middle mouse drag the curve into the arm locator. Rename the NURB circle into arm RFK control. Go to the channel box and zero out selection. Open Make NURB Circle 8, change the radius to 5. Go to Center X and middle mouse drag it to -3.2. Change the normals to an orientation that matches the orientation of the arm. Toggle the slow, medium, fast channel for finer control. Select the arm control and group it. Copy the name of the arm control and paste it into the group and name it GRP for group. Paste it into the locator and name it DNT for do not touch. Go up to the curves and surfaces shelf and create a NURB circle. Middle mouse drag and drop it into the locator. Open up the hierarchy. Rename the curve hand FKR control. Copy the text, group it, paste the text into the group, and name it GRP for group. Paste it into the locator and name it DNT for do not touch. Select the hand FK control, go to the channel box and zero it out. Go to NURB circle 9, zero out the Y normal. Change the radius to 3. Select the arm control, go to the attribute editor, and change the color to red for both arm and hand. You can turn off the wireframe on shaded mode. Select the hand do not touch and the arm control and hit P to parent, and shift click to open up the hierarchy. Now repeat this process for the left, arm, and leg of the character. Now to parent the geometry to the rig. There are two ways to do this. The one I am not going to do is the parent constraint method, which you would do by going to Constraints, Parent Options, Maintain Offset, selecting the control first, and then the geometry, and hitting Apply. I believe this method is slightly heavier in your scene. Let me know if this is true in the comments. To add the arms to the hierarchy of the rig, select the Do Not Touch locator, shift select the chest control, and hit P on your keyboard to parent. Repeat this process for the left arm. Select the chest geometry and the chest control and hit P to parent. Select the hip geometry, shift select the spine control, and press P to parent. Select the leg and leg control and hit P to parent. Continue this process for the rest of the geometry. Shift-click to open up your hierarchy, go up to the top toolbar, click on Menu of Inputs Line Operations, click Select by Name, then type *DNT. This will select all of your Do Not Touch locators. Go to the channel box, select all values, right-click, then click Lock Selected. Rename your root Do Not Touch group to whatever you would like your rig name to be. Go to File, Save As, right-click, create a new iteration folder, and save. Please check out my Patreon, or subscribe because it's free just like these videos. Like, share, and comment if this was helpful. Dislike and comment if it didn't work and I'll fix it for you. Next time, we'll be creating rock controls using set-driven keys.